What's the story, Morning Glory? What is up, Buttercup? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for a quick conversation about an update on the Laurensmithfields case. So, Laurensmithfields was a young woman who died in December under mysterious circumstances. And at the time, the last time that I made a video about her, the person that was with her, the last person to be with her before she died, he was a mystery. We didn't know who he was, didn't know anything about him. Well, since then, there has been a slight update. Okay, so his name and his image has been released. Now, when I say his image has been released, I don't mean in any kind of official capacity. Whatever pictures, I don't know who released these pictures to the internet, but his pictures are out there. And his name is Matthew or Lafontaine. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And he's 37 years old. So he claims that he was the one that had called 911 on December the 12th, 2021, after waking up next to her and finding her unresponsive and not breathing and blood dripping from her nose. So according to Matthew, what happened is that he had met her on Bumble. They communicated for about 3 days on Bumble, and she had messaged him that she needed $40 to get her nails done. So I'm assuming he agreed, and she had made arrangements to meet him at her house, and she wanted him to come with the $40 and also with a bottle of tequila. This is according to Matthew. So he arrives on December the 11th, 2021 at about 9:30 p.m. or so. He said that she invited him in. They drank tequila, they played games, they watched movies. Then he said that at some point she went to the bathroom and she threw up. And then at another point, she went to go meet her brother outside who had shown up at her apartment to give her something. So when she came back into the home, she goes into the bathroom, and he said that she was in the bathroom for about 10 to 15 minutes. When she came out, he said that he didn't ask what was going on. He didn't ask what was given to her or what she was doing in the bathroom. And he said that it was none of his business. He doesn't really know her, so it wasn't his place to inquire as far as what she was doing in the bathroom or what the brother gave her. So he thought it was odd, but he didn't ask any questions. So then he said that she fell asleep on the couch. He said he picked her up, took her into the bedroom, laid her on the bed, lay down beside her, and fell asleep. At about 3 o'clock in the morning, he woke up to go use the bathroom, and he said that she was still alive at that time because he could hear her snoring. He woke up about 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and that's when he found her unresponsive, laying on her right side with blood dripping from her nose. He called 911, paramedics arrived, and he said that the paramedics arrived, and the paramedics determined that she had been deceased for at least an hour, and she was pronounced dead at 6:59 a.m. I guess the paramedics at the scene reported that he seemed, LaFountain, that he seemed frantic and that he was visibly shaken. As of January the 26th, 2022, he has not been named as a person of interest, nor was he ever detained for questioning, which is extremely odd because being a person of interest doesn't mean that you're a suspect. So why wouldn't he have been taken to the police station to be questioned? Because we've all seen enough crime shows, true crime, 48 hours, or the first 48, we all seen it where when something happens to someone, when there is a mysterious death, and if the police have to be called or if the police are involved in some way, they will ask witnesses, people of interest, suspects to come to the police station and give a statement as far as what they know. So I'm not understanding why it wasn't done on this case. Unless they had determined, well, there was no crime, so why would we take him to the police station to question him on anything if a crime hasn't been committed according to law enforcement? So no crime scene investigation was ever done. Lauren's mother was notified of her daughter's death about a day and a half later. Her mother had been trying to contact her, call her, text her. There was no response. So she showed up at her daughter's apartment And there was a note on the door that said, if you're looking for Lauren, contact me. And I think the note was written by and left by the landlord. So she contacts the landlord. The landlord directs her to the detective, and the detective tells her that her daughter had passed away. This is the same detective that treated everything really casually, like, it was just an accidental death, nothing to see here, people, no big deal. And the same one who had told the family that Matthew LaFountain was not going to be questioned, that he was not a person of interest or a suspect because he seemed like a really nice guy. Yeah, that detective. So the family ended up they went into the apartment, and according to the family, they noticed that there were cups of liquor, there were plates that were flipped over, and there was also lubricant. There was a blood stain in the middle of the bed, and none of these things were initially taken into evidence. 2 weeks later, the family came back, I guess, to do a cleanup of the apartment, and they found a used condom in the trash and an unidentified pill. None of these were taken into evidence either. According to the family's attorney, no evidence has been submitted to the forensics science lab. According to the family attorney, that detective who said that Matthew was a nice guy, so they weren't going to bother him, that particular detective was he was removed from the case. And because there was some type of a connection, I don't know what, but there was some type of a connection between him and Matthew LaFountain. That detective is also the subject of an internal affairs investigation. And on January the 24th, 2022, an official autopsy report was released. It concluded that Lauren died from acute intoxication due to the combined effects of fentanyl, promethazine, and hydroxyzine, and also alcohol. So her death was ruled as an accident by the coroner's office. The family is still waiting for the results of an independent autopsy. As far as the Bumble communications between Lauren and Matthew, according to Bumble, they released a statement saying that law enforcement never asked them to give user data to show what was being discussed between the two of them on Bumble. This case could go obviously either way. Obviously. I don't know what to think. I think, okay, so when the police arrived, when the police were first involved with this, I just don't understand why they didn't question him. Because at that point, they didn't know what she died of. So they obviously didn't know. So why didn't they question him? As far as, like exactly tell us what happened. I don't understand. And I'm pretty sure that his accounting of what happened the night before and the next day was something that his attorney had released. So I'm pretty sure it was very edited. They were only going to release information that was going to show him in the most favorable light. If they could have said he wasn't there, they would have said he wasn't there. But too much evidence showing that he was there. Also, my question is, did the brother really show up? Now, I didn't read like a ton of articles about the updates, so I don't know if the brother actually showed up. Did he really show up? And if he did, what did he give his sister? That to me is still a mystery. Is she known to take drugs? Because if she died from this acute drug and alcohol intoxication, is she known to take drugs? Has her family? I think her family had said that she wasn't a drug user, but sometimes your family can only know so much about you. I would like for her, circle of friends, people she's worked with, people that she's known casually, can they also come out and make a statement of whether or not they knew of her to take drugs? Because if she wasn't a drug user and if she wasn't a habitual drug user, it just doesn't make any sense that on this particular night when she meets this particular guy for the very first time in her life, she's taking some serious drugs. Fentanyl, I don't know what promethazine is, or hydroxyzine, I don't know what these things are. So it's just weird that it's someone who's never taken drugs, hardcore drugs, all of a sudden on their Bumble date, they're doing this. Is she a snorer? Because he said that when he woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go use the bathroom, he knew that she was still alive because he could hear her snoring. Does she snore? You know, can that be confirmed? It might not be important, but I just would like to know, is she a snorer? Like, why was he making it a point to say that? Because she doesn't have to snore for you to know that she's still alive if you were concerned. Um, because it just seems like if he woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, let's say she doesn't snore, he wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go use the bathroom, and she's laying there. If he doesn't see anything out of the ordinary, he would just assume that she's sleeping. Why are you making it a point to say, yes, she was still alive because she was snoring? That's my question. It may not lead to anything. I'm probably looking too deep into that particular part of the story, but I'm just like, if you're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, okay, let's say he does hear her snoring. Is she a snorer? Can someone confirm whether or not she snores? Um, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. It's just crazy how you meet, let's say, according to Matthew, you meet a girl on Bumble, you go and you see her, you meet her for the first time, and then she ends up dead. And you wonder why people are looking at you side eyed. You're wondering why people are questioning your motives, questioning your account of the story. That's a big mystery to you. Okay. Because that happens all the time, right? Yeah, I hope more information comes out. And then what I also found funny is that other articles have no problem mentioning his name and showing his picture, but the New York Times would not release his name in their article because he hasn't been named a person, he hasn't been named as a suspect. So I was just like, what? So you have to be cleared as a suspect for the New York Times to mention your name in a story when your name has already been made public. I thought that was interesting. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye bye.